The arrival of 3I Atlas. We've just received breathtaking new visuals of an object unlike any we've ever seen, a mysterious traveler known as 3I Atlas. It is only the third interstellar visitor ever recorded, an object that has journeyed across unimaginable distances to enter our solar system. Now, this cosmic wanderer is streaking through our neighborhood of planets at astonishing speed, moving with an energy that defies belief. This celestial body didn't just drift into our solar system, it blasted in, traveling at over 100,000 miles per hour. When NASA's researchers turned their instruments toward it, they expected to see the familiar features of a typical comet: ice, dust, and a glowing tail. But what appeared on their screens was anything but ordinary. 3I Atlas was clocked at nearly 135,000 miles per hour. An extraordinary velocity for an object this far from the Sun. Even stranger, its tail, that beautiful streaming trail that defines a comet, was breaking the very laws of celestial physics. Instead of pointing away from the Sun, its tail turned toward it, an impossible act in the known universe. This discovery shocked the entire astronomical community. Something was very, very different about this visitor. The data hinted at something deeper. Perhaps this wasn't a random rock drifting through the void at all. Maybe it was something constructed, not created, a machine rather than a natural wonder. This marks the beginning of a story that has scientists around the world staring at the skies with a mix of awe, excitement, and quiet fear. To understand the mystery surrounding 3I Atlas, we have to revisit its past, a name that carries both hope and heartbreak. Back in 2019, another object sharing this name was spotted by Hawaii's powerful asteroid terrestrial impact last alert system, or ATLAS. That object, catalogued as C-2019Y4, ATLAS, was predicted to become one of the brightest comets in modern history. As it approached the Sun, its brightness grew exponentially, faster than any comet in living memory. Astronomers around the world began calling it the comet of the century. Even casual sky watchers who had never owned a telescope waited eagerly for the spectacle that was promised to outshine major stars like Vega. But as the comet neared its moment of glory, the dream unraveled. Comets are fragile creatures, frozen relics of the early solar system, made of dust, ice, and stone barely held together. Under the Sun's fierce radiation and gravity, they often crumble apart. In late March 2020, just as 3I Atlas was expected to blaze across the sky, its light began to fade. Its rise stalled, then reversed, dimming rapidly, like a firework that fizzled before it bloomed. The Hubble Space Telescope captured the heartbreaking truth. The comet's nucleus had disintegrated into more than 30 fragments. By May, the so-called comet of the century was gone, reduced to a faint, ghostly haze drifting into the blackness of space. That disappointment burned deeply into the minds of astronomers everywhere. So when a new object, once again bearing the name 3I Atlas, appeared on their screens years later, hope returned, but with caution. This time, scientists watched with tempered expectations, ready for discovery, but braced for heartbreak. But what came next was beyond anything they could have imagined. The impossible visitor. Unlike its fragile predecessor, this 3I Atlas was solid, fast, and oddly deliberate, as if it knew where it was going. It wasn't tumbling through space like a lost fragment. It was moving with grace and precision. At speeds surpassing 130,000 miles per hour, it traced a path so smooth that models struggled to predict its next position. The first great mystery arose when scientists studied its tail. Normally, every comet has two tails, one made of dust, one of charged gas, both blown away from the Sun by light and solar wind. But this object defied that simple rule of physics. Part of its tail pointed directly toward the Sun, like smoke being pulled into a fire. At first, researchers thought it was a malfunction, a data glitch, maybe an optical illusion. But telescope after telescope confirmed it. 3I Atlas was truly emitting a focused jet of material into the sun. This wasn't random outgassing, it was concentrated, steady, and directional, as if guided by design. The sun's heat should have scattered that jet instantly, but it stayed sharp, like a spear of light piercing against the solar wind. That impossible precision made global headlines. Then came the second shock. The object wasn't just coasting, it was accelerating. And not randomly. The direction of the thrust matched the orientation of that mysterious sunward jet. In other words, it was pushing itself, the way a spacecraft might. Some scientists quietly began comparing it to ion propulsion, the same technology used by advanced human probes. And yet, the force was too controlled, too smooth, too deliberate to be natural. Soon, chemical analysis revealed even more shocking clues. Most comets in our solar system are made primarily of frozen water mixed with dust. But this one was almost dry. Its composition was dominated by carbon dioxide in an impossible ratio of 8:1 against water. That ratio had never been seen before, suggesting 3I Atlas came from a world colder and stranger than anything known to science. Then came a revelation that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Chile's Very Large Telescope detected nickel vapor, but with no trace of iron. In nature, nickel and iron are inseparable. They form together in stars, planets, and asteroids. To separate them requires a process, industrial refining, something that only technology can achieve. This finding meant one of two things. Either we had discovered a new kind of cosmic chemistry, or something built this. As the object drew closer to the sun, both nickel and carbon dioxide emissions increased with mathematical precision. It was behaving like a machine following commands. Then researchers realized its orbit wasn't random at all. Most interstellar visitors enter our system at strange angles, cutting through the solar plane chaotically. But 3I Atlas was different. It was flying almost exactly along the ecliptic, the same flat plane where all our planets orbit. Its angle was off by only 5 degrees, an accuracy almost impossible by chance. It's like throwing a dart from a mile away and hitting the bullseye dead center. And it wasn't just passing by, its path was carefully planned to make near-perfect flybys of Mars, Venus, and even Earth's orbit. To many observers, it seemed as though the object was studying our solar system, efficiently, intelligently, purposefully. If it were an interstellar probe, this is exactly the route it would take, the smartest way to gather maximum data with minimal energy. But scientists remain cautious, offering natural explanations. Some say perhaps it's a new class of object. One born in an alien star system with unfamiliar chemistry. Others think its bizarre tail could be the result of a strange spin, redirecting jets toward the sun. Those ideas are plausible, but none fully explain the patterns we're seeing. Because 3I Atlas continues to act with the rhythm of intention. Is it a natural wonder, or the first whisper of extraterrestrial technology? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The cosmos just became far more mysterious than we ever imagined. So keep your eyes on the stars, because the story of 3I Atlas is only just beginning.